Hi, just how much is enough allowance for travel overseas, and why do you need this amount required by most countries? This will be discussed in today's video, but before I dive onto the issue, I urge you to smash the subscribe button and of course check out my social media pages. Many of you traveling abroad or for first-time travelers, you realize that an allowance is a very pertinent requirement. In fact, most countries specify exactly how much they want travelers to carry with them. For the case of Thailand, you need at least $1,000. Although over the years, many people have been able to come into the kingdom with less than that amount. But for the purpose of this video, I will share with you 5 solid reasons why you should definitely think of holding travel allowance. The first reason is with the very fact that you need allowance for accommodation, especially if you are on a tourist visa. It's a different case for those that have already obtained employment in advance because they are expecting a paid package. But if you are coming into the kingdom on a tourist visa, irrespective of whether you intend to live or not, having an allowance, in fact $1,000 at least, is very important because this is enough to cater for you for the next 3 months in terms of accommodation. And the second reason why you should definitely have your allowance is with food and other expenses that you may want to cover as far as your feeding and care or upbringing is concerned in the country. You need money to buy food, yeah? So holding this allowance will help you to foot your bills. Some of you argue you want to come with less, and once you get over, you struggle. You start calling home or calling friends from left to right to borrow you money. But you fail to understand that having this allowance goes a long way to help you and save you from eventual stress. Another reason why you may want to hold your allowance or even have as much as you can has to do with the very fact that you need to cater for documentation and other costs you may incur while extending your stay in the country. In the case of you being on a tourist visa, you need to extend that visa for a month after 60 days. To do this, you need to do photocopies. Where do you think the money for photocopies of extra documents will come from? So this also explains why an allowance is very important. And the fourth reason why you may just need an allowance has to do with the cost of movement, transportation. You are new in a country, you have to go out. There is no way you will say you have to trek all the time. So having your allowance helps you to afford transportation like taxi. It doesn't matter where you are going to. In every country around the world, you need to use a taxi service, and of course you have to pay for this. So it's very important to always think of this issue of allowance. And the last reason why you may have to carry an allowance, in fact I insist, has to do with the very fact that an allowance helps you to pay for your visa expenses. Like I mentioned, if you're on a tourist visa, like the case of Thailand, you have to extend your visa, yeah? If you go for extension, it costs 1,900 baht. And immigrations here do not joke when it comes to money. They will fight you tooth and nail to make sure you pay every penny that is due for them. Give to Caesar what's Caesar's and to God what's God's. So without enough allowance, you find yourself calling people from left to right to borrow you money to extend your visa or do other visa related issues. So please, like I mentioned, it's always good to come with allowance. And on to the second question of this topic, just how much is enough? $1,000, like I mentioned, for travels within Asia is very okay. For those going to Europe and America, you may want to hold more. The bottom line is carry as much cash as you can, but make sure it goes in line with the international laws regarding movement of cash. Thanks for watching. See you next time. And if you need help, feel free to get in touch. See you.